Well, ladies and gentlemen, the season is over for my Tennessee Volunteers. We got absolutely hammered over the weekend in the first college football playoff weekend round of 12. It culminated with my Tennessee Volunteers getting destroyed Saturday night against Ohio State, 42-17. Woo, 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 woo. 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 I done been a part of some ass whoopers in my lifetime, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm talking about from a jit on up to ass whoopers in the sports level. You know when the belt ain't doing it, and daddy say, I tell you what, go outside and go get that switch. Whoo! Belt to ass don't do it justice. That was a switch to ass. That first, ooh, that was an ass whipping. That's probably one of my worst losses since I've been a part of the Tennessee Vols. So for those who don't know who the hell I am, I'm Ferro. I've been doing this for quite some time. Many people don't know this. I'm a huge college football fan. I know we mostly cover music on this platform. But for those that know, I'm from Memphis. I grew up a Memphis Tiger. The University of Tennessee so graciously gifted your boy a 4-year scholarship in 2012, and I ain't looked back ever since. I became a part of the Vol Nation. Matter of fact, I didn't even grow up watching college football like that. You go to an SEC school and you literally just fall in love with football. You get it. You understand why the SEC is number one. You get it. You've that passion, not to mention the Vols were pretty bad most of my time in college. It just makes you love the team even more. It makes you feel a part of a tribe. Well, that tribe suffered defeat to Ohio State, and I already knew as soon as Ohio State lost to Michigan a few weeks ago, last week of the season, I knew this was a bad matchup, and I knew this matchup could be coming down the pipeline for Tennessee. Whomever got Ohio State, because they pretty much, after that loss, lost the right to a first-round bye. Whoever got Ohio State, and especially if the game was going to be in Ohio State, with Ryan Day pretty much the head coach of the team fighting for his job, I said, whoo, if my Vols get caught with them Buckeyes, with everything that's on the line for Ohio State, coming off of the loss to Michigan, which it seems to be something mentally at this point, I said, ooh, whoever gets that game with them, that's a bad one. See, I wanted my Vols to get Indiana, which is what would have happened if not for freaking Michigan beating Ohio State last week of the damn season. So we end up getting Ohio State. It's a bad matchup, but I give my Vols the benefit of the doubt. Mind you, our path to a national championship in this new 12-team playoff would have most likely have been Ohio State on the road, bowl game, neutral field against Oregon, who's been number one pretty much all year. Most likely a game against Texas, the Battle of UT, and then for the national championship, it would have been against Georgia, which they may have Carson Beck back if they're able to make it to the national championship towards the latter part of January. So obviously my Vols had a tough path, and it was an unlikely path. But I gave Josh Heupel a fighter's chance because he's earned that. The head coach of my squad, who I still love, Coach Heupel, but I will be honest with you guys, and a lot of y'all won't say this because, you know, Vols have been spat on so many times over by head coaches and different regimes. I will say it. I got the license to say it. I can. I didn't think Coach Heupel had a great year. As a matter of fact, I won't use the term regress as a program, but I felt like we stayed neutral. And there are going to be a lot of people that say, well, hell, we made the playoff. Well, the reality is pretty much if the playoff had been 12 teams over the last couple years, we would have been right there in the thick of things, right? Like, so I don't want to hear the fact that the playoff extended to 12 teams. The Tennessee Vols had a great year. We got better. I don't believe that one bit. As a matter of fact, at no point this year did I think this team resembled 2 years ago the Hendon Hooker year. And I'll take it a step further. as a guy that watched pretty much every snap of Tennessee Vols football this year, even made the trip down to Knoxville for the Florida weekend, kick it with friends, and for the Alabama weekend, back-to-back weeks, kick it with friends. I'll take it a step further. I never saw the confidence Coach Heupel had in last year's starting quarterback, Joe Milton even. I never saw that confidence in Nico this year. And Nico is an incredible talent and probably going to be playing on Sundays in 2 years' time, probably. I didn't see the confidence in the play calling, in the offense. Granted, it was his redshirt freshman year from Coach Heupel to Nico, and I think it showed in our play. I think we relied too much on Dylan Sampson, and Dylan, give him credit, had an incredible year. What was it? 22 touchdowns is what he finished his career with this season. He had a sensational run with UT. If we're being honest, and I love Dylan. And, you know, when I hear the Alvin Kamara comparisons, I pause you real quick because Dylan's a great running back, and he may go on to be a part of somebody's system in the NFL for years to come. He ain't no Alvin Kamara. And again, Alvin obviously was not utilized as much as Dylan, but there was a front-running element to Tennessee's best player. I'm just being honest. Y'all can get mad at me if you want. Dylan gave it all, his all for Tennessee. I love the story, but you know, I mean, Dylan got banged up immediately in that Ohio State game, which completely changed our entire offense to pretty much a scrambling Nico-led team, and we obviously got the doors beat off us by Ohio State. Game was never in doubt. I don't know what the hell the college football playoffs going to do, but most of those games out of the gate in the first quarter, the first opening weekend was just not competitive. They were not. By the time the road team finally realized, oh, I'm in a fight, they had already been knocked the hell up. That's what happened all weekend. And it culminated with probably the worst loss, which was Tennessee falling to Ohio State in the biggest game of the weekend, and that game was never in doubt. All right, we scored 10 points. We got down by 11 at halftime, immediately come out of the gate third quarter. We go 3-and-out, I believe. And then from there, Ohio State goes back to doing what they did in the first quarter again. Terrible loss. Terrible. Oh, my. Ooh. Listen, I'm going to say this. I did not like our receiving core all year. I've been complaining about our receivers all year. I thought Tennessee did a poor job of putting talent around Nico. Again, I am somebody that loves Tennessee, but I can look at this thing unbiasedly because I covered Tennessee for 4 years while I was there. I covered Tennessee out of the gate 3.5 years. What I would say and offer to you is Squirrel White, Brew McCoy, and I actually kind of like Thornton a little bit, but even I'll throw Thornton in this pack. From what I've seen, these are not wide receivers that are going to be playing football on Sunday. Go look up and down the SEC. Hell, even Kentucky's got a couple of dudes that's going to be playing football on Sunday. If you look at where the program is at the University of Tennessee, our receiving core this season was way under expectations. We had nobody that can consistently create space against NFL caliber corners. I mean, yes, could they create space against Vandy? Yes. Could they create space against some of the bottom feeders in the SEC? Yes. Could they create space against Georgia? No. Could they create space against Ohio State? No. A top-tier program. Could they create space? I would argue I saw the struggles against teams like Florida and Bama. Actually, I thought Nico played some of his best ball of the year against Bama to lead us to a victory. It took him dotting it up for us to win that one. This was not the Hendon Hooker year. It was not. And the extension of the playoff made us feel better about the year than what we had. I am encouraging Coach Heupel to go out in that transfer portal and go get us some wideouts. Nico needed some comfortability. The same comfort that he had at running back, Nico needed at least a couple guys on the perimeter that made him feel good about this offense. His first year, which I thought he should have started last year. Everybody's like, okay, hold your brakes, Ferro. Okay, you redshirt him. You give Joe Milton another year for whatever reason. Now Nico's doing these games for the first time in Arkansas, in Georgia. I mean, these games are tough for any freaking body to win, let alone a redshirt freshman who doesn't come up growing up understanding SEC ball. Like, this was just a tough path for the young man. And it culminated with him trying to put the team on his back against Ohio State. And we got bounced. We got bounced. We need to go get some receivers for this young man. That was bad. Coach Heupel needs to go get some receivers. A lot of people are going to attack Tim Banks in his defense. I'm not going to do that because that defense, a lot of parts of this season, was the only reason why we were in games. I thought James Pierce, all respect to him, going to probably be a top 14 pick. I didn't think he had the greatest of years. Some people going to say he's been doubled all year. I hear you. I'll leave it up to you on that one. At the end of the day, I'm just saying, this was not the greatest year to be a Tennessee Vol. I'm proud of my team. I didn't think we had as great a year as some people will lead you on to believe. And again, the extension of the playoff is going to make us feel a lot better about this year than in years past. But again, if this thing had been a 12-team playoff the last few years, we've been in the thick of things. That's all I got. That's all I got. I'm happy. Salute to my Vols. We gave it an effort. We gave it a go. I'm optimistic. But listen, man, when it comes to that SEC, the only coach not named Kirby Smart, and obviously the great Nick Saban no longer, the only coach in that SEC I've seen over the last decade that can win any game. And I know Ole Miss didn't make the playoff because they blew it at the end of the year against Florida, is Lane Kiffin. And Vols don't want to hear that, but it is the reality. Lane Kiffin can win games that Josh Heupel cannot. You can get mad at me all you want. That's the truth of it. There are games that even Tennessee, with the success we've had over the last few years under Heupel, we just still can't win them yet. And going on the road against Ohio State with everything they had at stake is a game that we could not win. We could not win that game. Maybe that'll be different in the future. Time, love, and support. Thank y'all so much. Everybody trolling me, calling me. They blowing my phone up, man. They making me take shots, man. Ooh, man, I done lost like 5 bets, bro. Go Vols.